tayo dito sa Kababayan Today. It's our second installment of our parenting panel for Mommy Mondays. And like I said earlier, it was my parent conference teacher meeting this morning. And you know what? My kid is a different kid when they're at school. I think this is the case for a lot of us, that when they're at home, they're just a different person. You know, I'm happy to report the teacher said it was very positive, but that's when I was like, oh, really? Well, how come at home? The homework isn't, you know, it's always a constant struggle. So I know, Joyce, you have a very young daughter,
Yes.
and she started school already. So how is it like encouraging her to be vocal about what happens at school? Because every time I ask my kids, it's like, oh, how was school? It was okay. And it's like I'm looking for something else, but I don't want to drill them. So what can you say in terms of getting your kids to open up more?
I think that's a wonderful question. I struggle with that. I have an 8-year-old daughter and a 4-year-old daughter. So they have different developmental levels and they have different interests based on their age. But I think you do just have to spend a little bit of time with them, just kind of vegging and just being yourselves. I think that's really important. And what we've tried to do, which I learned from another person, was like asking, what's your high and what's your low today? And not only asking them, you know, what is the best thing about today and what's the lowest thing about today, but then also they said, well, what about you, Mommy? What's your high and low? So it's like we're modeling to them that we also have struggles and we have highs and lows, and then we try to do that at the dinner table. And
That's great, because my kids never asked me what my high and low was.
You know, teach them empathy that Mommy had a bad day too. And you know, I had other things to do today.
Yeah, okay. So in terms of being a Filipino parent, obviously our parents were raised in a very different environment and very different struggles than what Filipino kids go through here. From your experience, the clients that you see, the Filipino clients that you see, what do they really struggle with in terms of their parents?
Well, they often can't really talk honestly about their relationships, the things that matter to them. They can talk about work. If I get a promotion, I can come home, get sinigang, it's all good, we have a good conversation.
Right.
But if I'm struggling with, let's say, dating, being single, or pain in my relationship, unfortunately, my clients are not going to their parents. They're going to their friends, they're going to therapists. So there's a breakdown there. And you know, our core value is eldering. And therapy is just a temporary thing. It's not meant to replace eldering. So ideally, they would be able to come home and say, you know what did you go through? Because this is what I'm going through. But there's just, there oftentimes, my cousins and I, we would just go over here, and then on Christmas come home, happy, bibingka, bye-bye, and that's it. So there's that going on.
Well, I feel like also there's a big generational gap. I mean, I know that there are things I can't talk to my mom about because she just doesn't get it, you know? So I know a lot of kids nowadays think the same thing. Well, I can't talk to my mom about sex, for example, or, you know, wanting to switch majors because there's a high expectancy to do well and follow in their footsteps. And there's always this, you can't talk back, di ba? I struggle with that a lot, Tita Frida, because yung anak ko is 9 and 7 at sumasagot sa akin, and I wasn't allowed to do that, you know? But I think we want to encourage our kids to be able to speak up, because there's this, you're not allowed to answer back. This whole thing about not being able to communicate or express how you feel. So what advice can you give to the older generation of parents out there?
Well, I can speak for myself. I would like to think of myself not just as a parent, but as a friend.
With boundaries, diba? Because if you're just a friend and sometimes you don't want to be able to show them that they could just do whatever they want, right?
No, the friend that I'm talking about is someone that can come to me without fear of being criticized or being lectured to, or being told you should have done this, you should have done that, or you made the wrong decision, this is what you have to do. I would like to be a friend that they know will listen. And I've learned this from my kids, especially from Don. My daughter used to tell me, Mom, I did not come for you to solve my problem. I just want somebody to listen.
Yeah.
So that I learned, and it really is very important for us parents to listen to our children, because when they're struggling, you want to know what's going on with their lives. You want to be part of that.
Yeah, because it feels very isolating when your children don't talk to you.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
Kimler, just to wrap up this segment, what can you say also about the LGBTQ community? Because obviously they're struggling with a lot of other issues.
When it ultimately comes to, I really agree with what Tita Frida said. It's very important to not always be so solution-oriented. If you're seeing your child is having issues maybe coming out, it's not about like, you're not going to solve it in 15 minutes of anger or whatever, or lecturing. You really just need to take it in, listen to it, and then think about, what your long-term steps are going to be. Your child's going to be your child for quite a while, and I think that, you can really take that time to really be strategic in the long run, rather than maybe have so much energy kind of just responding to an immediate issue.
Okay. All right. When we return here on Kababayan Today, kasama pa rin natin ang ating parenting panel. Huwag po kayong aalis.